Wyverns and Weirdos Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed campaign, and as such contains dark themes, including descriptions of gore, violence, and other features intrinsic to the gothic horror genre. Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos does Curse of Strahd. I am your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Zoe, playing Sevia, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrade, Mitch, playing Designation 42 Exley, and Johanna, playing Fall. Let's jump into it, shall we? Where we last left off, the party fought an Arcanoloth and a trio of flame skulls at the same time, and got some loot out of it. A robe of useful items, partially used, and an arcane grimoire. They also discovered a secret door leading to a library, and that library contained a staircase, big spiral staircase downwards, which Conrade and Casimir explored and discovered the dark gift that Casimir desired and a gift that Conrade took. And upon getting the gift he desired, Casimir just basically buggered off. So we pick back up with Conrade down in the crypt.
Excellent. So Conrade was given the book by Casimir before Casimir,
yes,
to quote Darby, buggered off. So he kind of holds that book for a few moments, kind of looks at it contemplatively, and then casts his gaze first at the I think he spied like a crack in the wall which had like some treasury kind of through it or something.
Yeah.
So he looks at that, and then he casts his gaze back over the three amber coffins that are in the room as well. Yeah. And then after a beat, he calls out, "Fall, Exley, are you there? Come down here."
Okay.
Fall and Exley, you being in the library, hear that. So who else is in the library?
I think it's just
the two of us.
Esmeralda
and
oh, yeah.
Vilnius floating around as
well.
well.
Oh, Vilnius, our friend.
That guy. Meat shield.
Right. So, do the two of you go down?
Exley does.
Sure.
All right.
Sort of just led Exley there, be like, okay, so Conrade wanted you here for something, and he's not here. Sees a man fly out from below and like...
Okay. So yeah, you see the same room that Conrade is in, golden. So as you go down the golden marble staircase with black marble railing, you see six rotten wooden crates, sorry. And the amber-covered walls are sculpted to look like tentacles that entwine around marble bas-reliefs of kings, queens, pharaohs, and sultans attended by myriad slaves. The west, south, and east walls contain alcoves, and standing in each alcove is a tall, rough block of amber. Two wide cracks have opened up in the south wall, spilling rubble and shattering pieces of amber onto the floor to the southeast corner of the room. Conrade is by the south.
Excellent. And he's standing there holding a book.
Yes.
Ah, good, you came. Good. Excellent. Well, I have the book from Casimir. Surely you saw him leave, yes?
Oh, yes, definitely. Flew right on by.
Yes. He found a power in one of these. And he points to the He gestures to the amber coffins. The power, he spoke, of one who may revive the dead with no consequence, no time limit, minimal parts required. A way to cheat death taken too soon, and he says it was offered to him and accepted. And so now he's left.
That doesn't quite seem like it would be real. But I guess we have the book now, right?
Yes, and Conrade will step over towards both of you. Yes, well, given what is here in this temple, I would believe it. He seems satisfied enough. That was his feeling he was looking for. But... And he kind of he gestures out the book to Fall and then kind of pulls it back to himself. He's like, the true question now remains, is this power that he sought still lingering? I feel, and he leans even closer into the general direction of the two of you. I feel we should investigate before the others come. The two of you understand, yes? We do not need to tell Sevia or Beatrice or Esmeralda or the tag-along. They would not understand. As we do? And he's going to look at both of you.
Exley, this entire encounter has had a cocked head sort of looking at Conrade and the surroundings, and then as soon as Conrade mentions that maybe we shouldn't tell people, he is now just looking intently at Conrade.
Excellent.
Trying to gauge any facial tics that might be going on. Figure out what game Conrad is playing.
Conrad just looks very intent. What's Fall's surface level expression like?
Fall looks confused and wary. They'll say, Conrade, may I ask why are you saying this? What are your intentions here?
It is a test in a way. For both you two and for me.
Well, I love those. Wow.
Yes, well, surely you would like the chance to prove yourself then.
Not especially.
If you're in an eternal test and that is what you are not so fond of.
Conrade.
Well, yes?
I have to say, you've been acting rather differently lately. Can't you see this?
Not really. Well, yes. Come to think of it, I am feeling different, but... Don't you feel it? He leans closer to Fall. Don't you feel... yes, this place is dangerous, but don't you feel safer in a way here? Like something courses through your veins?
No. That's going to be a no on that one. Nope. This place is not safe at all. I think the only safety we have here is in each other, I guess, as corny as that sounds.
Yes, well, he withdraws a bit from Fall and kind of crosses his arms over his chest, still holding the book. He's like, well, interesting. No matter. Well, I will present it regardless. That is the one Casimir spoke to, and he points to the coffin that Casimir touched.
So the east sarcophagus.
Yes. The power to bring one back from the dead. I have little interest in this one, but I am curious if more than one can benefit. If so, and instead he turns to Exley, I have others that can benefit you as they have me, if you so wish to assist me.
Exley is quiet for a moment, sort of taking everything in. Conrade.
Yes?
You were drawn to this room, and you have been drawn here for a while. Have you found what you seek?
Not yet. There are many things to seek here, I find. I have found some things, but I'm not sure if I'm done yet. There is also another place to investigate, though I think there is more power to be had in these things, and surely you both understand power is required to stop Strahd to tread out of here, to ensure safety for ourselves. Why should we not level the playing field?
It's true, but we don't know how much we can trust this power. I mean, you saw those things with the eyes on their heads, and it certainly looked ominous anyway.
Certain, but I have not felt anything like that. I do not have unseeing eyes.
At this point, because enough time has passed, can I get everyone to please roll me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh.
I'm still on a level of exhaustion. Okay, let's see.
16.
Oh,
Okay.
dirty 20.
Nice.
Natural
12.
20.
Oh.
24 if you want the full number.
Oh, wow. Exley is not cold whatsoever. I rolled a 12.
Okay.
19.
19. Okay. Just need to double check that. I think. Alright, so continue on.
Okay. Conrade shudders oddly regardless.
Exley is going to sort of look over at Fall and then look back over at Conrade. Say, whether they like it or not, the rest of the team regard you as the leader. Do you believe it to be wise to cross them so early in your game?
You make a good call.
The DC
I
was
merely-
10. The
What
DC,
was it, sorry?
The DC was 10, so Conrade makes
Okay,
it.
cool. I merely wish to offer to you two, but I suppose you certainly understand that if especially Beatrice arrives here, she will not let anyone touch them. I merely came from an offer of trust rather than deception. But
Yes,
no
you still
matter.
plan to deceive.
I will only act in how others act in kind. I do not see any reason to cause quarrel when there is none. And as long as people trust me, I am happy to provide reason to do so. But as you have noted, that has not been reciprocated on my in regards to me from most here.
I do not know how long you have been in company together, but when I was observing your interactions, it did not appear like you had been together for very long. I find it difficult to trust most, even when I have been in good company with them for a very long time. I doubt the group of people that you have chosen to align yourself with would trust you after such a small period of time has passed.
Certain. Well, thank you the both of you. That was an interesting test. Over in the wall here, I can see some treasure through there. Perhaps that may be of more of people's interest. The entire party can peruse as they wish. He points to the crack in the wall.
I suppose we can go and get everyone. Conrade, I would like to trust you. I'm just not sure what's happening.
That's fine. Don't trouble yourself so, Fall.
Alright, meanwhile, upstairs with Beatrice and Sevia. So, Beatrice, you have finished identifying the 2 items.
Beatrice.
Oh,
Me.
Sevia.
Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. I get us mixed up all the time, which is very bad. Yeah, so I've finished identifying them. So I guess I'm going to, and we know Exley went off and Beatrice has come up.
Yep.
So.
And our friend has just pieced out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay,
has
so she's
left-
going to watch.
And has left the tome with Conrade.
So Sevia probably had a couple of like remaining. I guess while she was doing identify, she was moving her hands a lot, and it was almost like these little blue like runes were kind of appearing between her hands, just almost blink and you miss it kind of style. And I guess a couple of them just like fizzle out as she finishes and watches Casimir yeet himself from the building. And she's like, oh, that wasn't particularly polite.
Not entirely, but I think you should perhaps meet up with everyone else if you are finished.
Yes. Oh, do you want to know what it is? It's quite fascinating, actually. And she kind of bundles everything around because I believe she identified the robe second. She's like,
Yes.
This, I believe they call this, it's a robe of useful items.
Perhaps,
So it's many. Well,
perhaps we should wait till you can tell everyone at once rather than repeating yourself.
oh,
Maybe.
yes, no, right, yes, of course, yes, ha, right. Well, and she's gonna get up and like bundle everything into the robe, and then like including her own spell book, and she's just got it in this big bundle in her arms, and she's gonna scurry. I forgot the word. Scurry over to the edge, and she's how are we getting down?
The rope. If you climb, hand me all the things and climb down.
Okay. Okay. Good. As long as you're not making me jump off. I think Conrad keeps hurting his ankles doing that, and I think my ankles are a lot weaker than his.
No, I will not make you jump off. You take rope.
Good. Okay. Okay. So she hands the bundle to Beatrice, and then she's going to do that very awkward, like, you know how when like that kid at your school like sat on top of a wall or something and then tried to jump off and they just don't know what they're doing. So she like scoots, like sits down and like scoots to the end and like grabs the rope and kind of like awkwardly just swings her little body down and then has to like scoot down, and it probably doesn't go very well. I will roll for it if you want. But I'm imagining that regardless of whether or not I have to roll, it is not graceful and it is not very
Climbing is really hard, actually.
Yeah, roll me an athletics check.
Ooh, mediocre. I have a plus nothing to athletics. That's a 12.
12. Okay, yeah, it takes you a little bit, but eventually you do manage to get down.
Yeah, and once again, it is not graceful.
No.
Yes, so she gets to the bottom and she looks up at Beatrice, but she's very proud of herself. And she's like, there you go, what next?
I will pass down all the things, and then Beatrice is going to just drop everything off the side.
And Sevia runs to catch it because there's some very expensive, heavy books in there. I'm assuming it's only like 30 feet. I'm assuming she can catch them pretty easy. Yeah.
And then Beatrice is going to walk over to where the rope is secured. She's going to untie it, sort of wrap it all back up, stow it in her pack, and she's just going to jump off the edge.
Okay. So roll me an acrobatics check.
Okay. I did not need that there, but it's a nat 20.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got a +6, so that's 26.
Yeah, so you managed to land perfectly so as to not take any damage at all. Kind of using your like wings while they're not capable of flight to kind of aid you in kind of gliding and slowing your descent.
All right, so I went down that corridor. We should go.
I'm assuming Beatrice leads.
Yeah.
And while she does, Sevia is going to be like, that was really quite marvelous. Maybe you should teach Conrade. I think he could learn a lot from you. I feel like you jump out more trees than he does. He's just very good at horses and sneaking. And she's... And
The
then I
boy could.
assume...
Beatrice will reply with, "The boy could learn a lot," and just keep stalking down the stairs, like off the stuff. Down the
okay.
staircase. Is it?
Sevia probably had some witty retort.
Yeah.
But that's probably when we get to the library.
Yeah, it's up the staircase, yes.
Okay.
Up the staircase then.
Yeah, so you get to the library. See that Esmeralda and Vilnius are there, and yeah, see that there are just 20-foot high walls and a 30-foot high vaulted ceiling. Covering the ceiling is a fresco that depicts angels being set ablaze in hell. A black marble railing encloses that's probably a very comforting sight to you, Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Angels
See,
being
angels
set
on fire.
ablaze
Oh, yes.
in hell.
Listen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Black marble railing encloses a gold marble staircase that spirals gently down a 30-foot wide, 30-foot deep shaft to the north. Against the grey wall stand 6 10-foot tall black marble bookcases. On the shelves are hundreds of well-preserved tomes. Embroidered rugs, chairs, and lit candelabras fill the southern half of the room.
Beatrice makes a little like whistle noise, like wow, kind of whistle noise.
Sevia just does a full, like with the big bundle, just does a full 360 really quietly, and then just goes, I miss university.
So you may have to miss it a little longer. We need to find the others. And Beatrice is going to turn to Esmeralda and ask, where did the others go?
Yeah, they went downstairs. Downstairs.
Well, are you happy to stay up here, or are you going to come follow?
I think if now that you two are here, we should probably go back to them and try to stick together.
All right. Beatrice will lead everybody down the staircase.
Okay.
Sevia just looks at all the books and is like, and then we'll follow kind of sadly, just plod along like,
All
oh.
right. So, yeah.
We go down to the creepy room.
Yeah. Okay. So, you see Conrade talking to Fall and Exley, and the three of you see the your four companions from upstairs enter the room.
And here they are.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I, as Beatrice enters the room, can I do a perception check on Beatrice looking at Conrade to see whether she notices anything?
What are you trying to pick up on? Like,
well, she's seen the sarcophagi. She's walked into the room. She wants to see whether like his mood or attitude, or if there's any sort of aura about him that has
okay, so
changed.
that's probably more an insight check.
Insight?
Yeah.
All right. Insight then. Good. Oh, please. Uh, 22.
22. I don't think there's anything like any sort of major difference. I think there's a sort of uncomfortableness to the body language of Fall and Exley, I would imagine, given the prior conversation.
Yeah, and Conrade also has kind of an uncomfortable gesture to him. He's kind of holding the the tome that he got from Casimir under his arm, and he looks like he's like trying not to look sullen or disappointed, I suppose. And then he kind of like, you probably catch him as he's trying to school his emotions into more of a neutral expression as he looks up at you guys coming down the stairs, I suppose.
But yes, certainly especially given the like nature of the new floor, it's very hard to tell a difference.
Yeah.
What has everybody been up to down here?
Everyone is here. Casimir found the thing he sought, the feeling he was feeling, and he has left the book with us. So now the remains is to find the item that may help us in our quest.
Yes, the sword of and Sevia like has to dig through many things in her bundle to be like, the sword of sunlight. Is there any chance it's also down here?
Difficult to say. I have noticed there is some unstable structuring here. He gestures to the cracked, like the decayed wall or whatever. I had a peer through there. There seems to be some sort of treasury room, whether it is a trap or genuine treasury, that would be a good place to hide a sword, I would assume, although it could be anywhere in this place, really.
Yes. Did he say which sarcophagus was it? Did he say what it did, what the feeling was?
He did, yes. He spoke that it was a power of one who may revive the dead with no consequence, and no time required. A power more than what he could find in these lands. And he seemed satisfied that he had been given it, and so was off to well, you recall he mentioned his sister who died.
Yes.
So he seemed quite confident that he had that power. 'Twas in that coffin there, and he gestures to it.
Right.
Without looking at the coffin directly.
Right.
So, would be a wonderful gift, would it not, if it were true, I suppose? To bring anyone back from the dead?
If it truly didn't have consequences, it would.
Nothing is ever completely without consequence.
No, of course not. Do we know what the other two do?
No, it would be interesting to find out, certainly.
Yes,
Considering they seem to hold great power, and Casimir felt it would help him in his whatever his struggles were.
Based on the conversation that Exley and Fall had with Conrade, is there anything that gives Exley the understanding that Conrade might not be truly forthcoming about not knowing what's going on?
Roll me an insight check.
21.
21.
Should I do deception roll? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because that's a threshold that, because of the conversation had, is kind of tricky.
Beatrice is going to be standing there with like her head cocked and looking very suspiciously at Conrade. She doesn't trust what's going on.
Sevia looks kind of conflicted.
It's fair. Conrad rolled 17 for Fall and Exley, or whoever was.
So
No, Exley was looking. Yeah.
I rolled a 6. So.
Oh, for Exley, yes.
Exley,
You
you get the feeling that Conrad was holding something back. You're not quite sure what, but definitely it definitely wasn't the full story that you got.
I don't show any reaction to that.
I mean, I don't necessarily condone touching the sarcophaguses, considering what happened in the previous room, but there is a certain academic interest.
Agreed. Strong magic around here, certainly. Would you not say?
Beatrice, you touched a coffin, didn't you? And you didn't take the power. Did that affect you in any way?
It did not affect me, but I am very strong-willed compared to some of the others in this group. And
Conrade glares
pointedly
at
at Conrade.
Well, maybe it's simply a matter of we touch them, but we just say no.
Certainly, that would be.
I'm not. It would also be good to know specifically what Casimir got. In case that comes back to be an issue for us. If it ends up actually having consequences that maybe he didn't think through, and he comes back to take back Strahd's diary.
He may have been lying, and we may have created someone worse than Strahd by him touching that coffin. Who will know until we find out what it offered, if indeed it will speak to us again.
Yes, so maybe we just make sure we say no. I don't. No offense to you, Conrade. I know you did take one of these magical gifts, but I'm not sure I trust them to be fully consequenceless. But there is a certain. And she looks over at the one Conrade pointed to that Casimir used. There's an academic interest, as I said.
You agree, and Conrad will walk closer to the center of the room again to, I think it would be worth investigating in any regard.
In the same regard as looking at the treasure to see if the Sword of Sunshine is in there, that...
Yes.
I'm not saying I have to be one of the ones to touch them. I'm just saying, if there are those of us who know for certain, we can say no. And no offense, friend, but I don't think it should be you. And she looks at Vilnius.
Is he creeping towards a coffin, Darby?
Is he creeping towards a coffin? Is Exley had to hit him with the staff a couple times?
Not at this stage, no.
He looks like he wants to, though, doesn't he?
You see him kind of eyeing off one of the coffins.
Oh, Vilnius. That old lad.
Well, Casimir's gone. We don't have a meat shield anymore.
We got a new meat shield.
Yeah, I got a new meat shield.
Yeah. We need a new NPC to hate.
Perhaps it's best if Exley and I have a look.
Yes, and Conrad looks at Exley intently.
Oh, that's too okay.
Exley is standing there just with a cocked head.
Yes, well, if you two are comfortable with that, I certainly trust your levels of assessment. If you can assess that these coffins wouldn't give us the consequences just tell us what you think, and we can work from there, and then we can work on potentially getting into that treasure room and fighting whatever is in there, as every room in this place seems to be a labyrinth of creatures.
Precisely. And Conrad will then turn to Beatrice and then bow his head and go, well, since you are so confident in your ability to choose to say no, then I concede. You are truly of a stronger will than I am, and I believe you will be the best person to investigate these. Although, for the record, I was not powerless to say yes or no. I chose to. But of course, Beatrice, please be my guest. And he does kind of like a little head bow again to her.
Beatrice just sort of hums grumpily and goes towards the sarcophagus that Casimir had touched, which was which one?
The eastern.
Oh god, I don't know my east from my west.
The right of the map.
I'm just
I'm
with you there.
so glad that the Beatrice has stepped up to the task.
Right.
Honestly, I feel safer already.
Stevie is just watching Beatrice intently.
Exley is going to go over to the second one and then wait.
Okay, so place a hand on it.
Beatrice places a hand on it.
Ah, so many who could be brought back. That is truly interesting. And I could give you that power if you desire it.
What would it? What is the consequence?
You... There is an essence that will be taken, though nothing that you need.
An essence.
Yes.
Well, what about the one that is brought back?
They
What
are,
happened to them?
They are brought back as they were.
They are brought back whole. There's not anything unusual about them. Anything different.
Not at all.
And Beatrice pauses and looks very thoughtful for a minute. And then takes her hand off it and turns back to everyone.
So, I heard you say essence. What did it say?
It says it can give one the power to bring somebody back.
He was telling the truth. Goodness, lucky you'd investigated, Beatrice.
And
it takes an essence that you do not need from yourself.
essence.
Supposedly brings back the person or whatever as they were, the same.
As they were when they were alive, or as they were when they... because, for instance, if someone had been dead maybe a few years, would it bring them back as they were when they were alive, or is it bringing them back as one of Exley's friends?
Casimir spoke as if that was beyond the power that was available here. So I can only guess that it would be a proper resurrection, unlike Exley's friends, and unlike what Van Richten had been, suggesting.
Yes.
Well, apparently we know that it can be offered to multiple people.
Interesting.
Power
Actually,
like that, the cost of it. Whatever this abstract term, the essence is, it must surely be something extremely strong. I mean,
Yes.
it made it sound as though it was not something that is needed entirely, but There's always some sort of catch.
Yes, and I'm assuming it doesn't just take one essence for multiple people. Maybe the more you bring back, the less of you there is.
That is my thought.
That
Exley, what about the one next to you?
Placed my hand on it.
The battle took many lives, didn't it? What if you could reverse one of those fates? I have that power, and I could grant it to you. You already toys with life and death. What is it more to take on this power?
Is that the middle sarcophagus?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were placing the...
We can retcon it. I can go over there if you would like.
I mean, that works for the middle as well.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can show you the ways, but your path does not lead there yet.
Exley takes a moment to process that information. Are there any consequences?
None. Only a desire for progression.
How many others before our group have entered this room?
Countless.
Have there been those that have left with this power, this knowledge?
Countless. One is still here.
Where would their journey take them?
Their journey is complete.
I remove my hand.
What did that one say?
This one offers power and knowledge for the future.
Okay.
And any downsides?
A thirst.
Well, that is
What?
not necessarily terrible.
That would be horrible if you were just constantly thirsty for water. Oh, that's a bad
yes,
side
that
effect.
was
Yes,
my
water.
question.
Certainly, I'm certain that's what it is.
Surely it would be a thirst for something else.
Is a thirst for power and a thirst for knowledge.
That makes far more sense.
Yeah.
Not so
Okay.
bad.
Should I try the last one then?
Well, if you're volunteering for, you would be, yes, it's very brave of you. Please go ahead.
As Fall walks over there, Exley is going to turn his gaze to Conrade and just stare at Conrade for a bit.
Conrade will stare back at Exley. And then he will cock his head to one side slightly, exactly mimicking how Exley usually does.
All right.
Beatrice will follow Fool over to the
Okay.
other.
Paul just takes like a look, like inspects it closely, and then goes like, "Well, shrugs, here goes," puts a hand on them.
Okay, so you place your hand down and you hear this voice. You could take on the master of this land. The gifts that I give.
What gifts do you give?
I offer the dark gift of the vampire.
What, you just turn me into a vampire?
No. However, you will not die if you accept my gift.
So immortal. Okay, what are the drawbacks? And why is it called the gift of the vampire?
There are no true drawbacks. Only a heightened awareness of those around you.
I already have that. I'm anxious. Okay, that's an interesting one. All right. They take their hand off. Okay, so this one says it can make me immortal.
Yes, you said the vampire.
They called it the gift of the vampire, but then I said they didn't say it was literally a vampire, which is good. But honestly, I think we've already talked in philosophy about like the ideas of mortality and stuff and how lonely that would get. It doesn't sound that great, really.
You wouldn't die, though.
I mean, but ever? Well, good luck.
Interesting.
Huh.
Being alive for that long would be very lonely.
Yeah. Huh.
What is life without death?
So
Eternity.
it said
It
it
is
would give me
unnatural.
a heightened awareness for others as the drawback. It just sounds weird.
Yes, even if you're not dead, if you're a vampire, does that mean you'd be like, I don't know, aware of like our heartbeats? Would you want to drink our blood? That doesn't seem very. I don't enjoy that. I don't want any of us to take any of these gifts from these sarcophaguses, but I feel like that especially would be very inconvenient.
I really wish we could do like a 20 questions thing, like they have to answer everything we have about the drawbacks, so then we actually get some specifics.
Yes, I feel like there needs to be some fine print.
These are so broad.
I don't feel like these should be particularly binding contracts.
No.
I had to sign more paperwork just to go to university. Never mind.
I feel the way that these things work is more like riddles. They will never tell you the full truth.
I hate them.
Oh, I'm not good at riddles.
I think we should move on.
Sylvia kind of looks over at the Casimir one. She's like, yes, the treasure room, you said, Conrade.
Yes, the treasure room. Certainly.
Shall we follow you, fearless leader?
I don't appreciate your tone, second in command. But over here. He will stride over to where the little rubble is. And then gesture to it.
Sylvia's gonna like scoot over to Fall and just be like, does Conrade seem a little extra confrontational to you?
I've been meaning to talk. I'm a bit worried. He's acting really different.
Do you think this is that thing we were worried about before with the sarcophaguses? Or is he still just mad about the conversation before we came in? Because that was nearly 2 days ago. I would feel very bad if he still felt bad about that.
Yeah, I don't know him this well, but I don't know. I don't want to believe this is the way he normally acts. I'm just worried he might be cursed or something.
Well, Was he down here alone with Casimir?
Yes, it seems like it. He was down here when we came back.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
I hope Casimir didn't curse him.
Oh, that would be incredibly rude of him. To just curse someone and then take something from a sarcophagus and then leave? At least he left the book.
Yeah, I never trusted him. And then
No.
I was surprised that he just left without doing anything, but maybe he did.
Oh.
So this these cracks in the wall are thin, but not so thin that people can't kind of navigate their way through it. It will
skinny
be
boy can get
tight.
through.
Any of you can move through them. You cannot move through them at full speed, which
So yeah,
for the most part is not of consequence. But if for reference of like if like any
we need to get out quickly.
Yes.
That's the problem.
I'm worried.
So Conrad has I imagine probably coinciding theatrically with when Stevie and Fall were talking about how Conrad had the book now. He's sort of like, because he's got lots of the belt strapping, he's kind of like tied that, sort of made an impromptu little holster for the book at his hip. And then he's been peering, like gesturing to the crack. And then to whoever comes up first, he's kind of like crouching to see if there's like a slope to the floor or like if it's unimpeded.
It seems to be unimpeded.
Cool. So I guess he'll raise an eyebrow at whoever comes up first, and then he's going to get a ball bearing and roll it down, like kind of roll it with some force into there, and then wait to see what happens.
Okay, roll me a strength check.
Okay.
To yeet the ball there.
I'm the party, the buff boy. So I rolled a 16.
I'm not letting you go because he gestures at his crack.
Yeah, so
Yes.
16. You
So
throw
it's
it.
an 18 altogether.
Yeah. Okay, 18. Yeah, you managed to throw it, and it kind of spit like with the kind of bumps in the ground and the rubble. It kind of gets diverted slightly off course as it goes, and eventually hits, just landing in one of the treasure piles.
It tries to like look and like listen intently as well when that happens.
Yeah, when it hits, you hear like a
Okay.
as if like a lot of tiny metal objects and bits and pieces of other stuff are kind of shaking around each other.
He looks over at Beatrice and raises his eyebrow. Didn't hear anything else in there.
I didn't hear anything either.
Yeah.
Well, does anyone wish to venture in? I can investigate if that's what we think would be wise. It is just very narrow, so if something is in there, I will make best of it to see what happens.
Be very careful for any traps in the way.
Yes.
Well,
Unless-
there's two cracks. Someone could go in at the same time. That way you have backup just in case.
Yes. Unless Beatrice wishes to go first, I think one of us should remain here regardless.
I will go last.
Good. You can keep watch over the rest of the team. Vice Captain. And then kind of like squares up his little shoulders and then kind of like tries to limber himself up a bit. And then like kind of like looks at tries to like adjust where like the holster for his rapier is and stuff because it's quite narrow. And then instead kind of like lifts up the back of like one of his boots and pulls a blade out of the like the calf part of the boot. And then kind of pushes this back up against the wall of one of the crack, and then we'll try to shimmy his way in as quietly as he possibly can.
So you shimmy your way in, and as you enter the room, you see piles of treasure are heaped against the west and east walls of this stone room, as well as you also see, as you kind of sidle through the crack. I'm just going to move your token so you're not on top of it.
Oh.
An amber, a 10-foot tall statue carved from amber in the likeness of a hawk-headed humanoid, which stands in a wide alcove to the north of the room. Behind it is, of course, the crack in the wall. It appears at this stage to be dormant.
Okay, Conrad will go very still and kind of like flatten back as far as like as close as possible to like the little entrance of the crack, kind of like size it up, and then he will look to see if anyone's peering into the crack, as it were.
Sevia was, because she said 2 of us should go at the same time, and then no one went with Conrade.
No one went with Conrade at all.
Acting to not go like, oh, I'm going to tie my shoelace and I don't have to.
Oh no, I
have
dropped
laces,
everything.
yeah.
Oh,
I was just
you're
trying to,
going
like,
next? Oh well, go ahead.
Look at Exley to try to get Exley to go.
Cool.
Exley is preparing to turn himself into a creature of some description.
Cool.
Alright.
So Conrad will because you can see Sevia, I suppose, getting ready to kind of like, okay, point of warning. He's whispering.
Mm.
There is a golem here, not moving yet. Seems to be dormant at this point.
Like the jackal one?
Yeah, it's just a different head.
Oh,
Difficult.
that's not good.
I certainly wish Casimir were here now with that invisible magic he had. It is not moving, though. My only concern is very narrow to get in here. So perhaps if you do come in, just sort of stay at the midpoint and have your magic ready.
Yes. Yes.
Tell the others I will wait here. And I think at this point, best point of order is I investigate as quietly as I can, and then leave as quickly as I can.
Okay. I don't have anything to help you. Sorry, but be safe.
Well, I will do my best.
Yes. She's going to turn around and be like, there is an issue.
What these issues?
Is he dead?
No. She's going to step away from the crack in the wall, even though we were all just talking very loudly. And she's like, according to Conrade, do you remember that big amber jackal golem we fought not long ago? The one that very nearly crushed me to death. Well, turns out there's another one. This one just has a different head, and Conrade's in the room with it. Apparently it is dormant at the moment, but I feel like it is pertinent for someone with magic to maybe be a little bit closer, so I was going to get a bit closer, but if anyone has any ideas on how to help Conrade not get crushed to death, now would be a really good time to present them to the group.
Perhaps he should not be in the room.
That is quite fair.
Yes, but we need to see if the sword's in there.
Are you willing to wish your captain?
Oh. Gods above.
Cast darkness on the golem? That spell 90% of the time backfires, but I guess if it woke up it wouldn't be able to see.
I have a lot of spells that are good for attacking. I don't have a lot that are very good for protecting. And
Meanwhile, in the treasury, Conrade, what are you doing?
All right, so Conrad is sort of waiting, trying to sort of like see what he can hear with them, discuss. And I think probably when he hears Exley say, well, he shouldn't just be there, and then Beatrice immediately just agrees as well, he kind of just glares. He's like, fine, up to me then. And then he's going to stealth. It's like the entire floor covered in like coins?
No, so it is 6 piles, 3 on each side of the room.
Okay, so he's going to stealth over to okay. Well, I'll roll stealth first actually.
Yeah.
An 18 plus 28.
All right.
One thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
So he's going to go first to, I've forgotten the top easternmost one.
All right.
So we're giving the statue a wide berth, and he's not going to like touch it. He's just going to really carefully look at it and see if he can find any kind of sword.
Okay.
That
Roll
looks
me an investigation check at disadvantage.
Damn, that was a 19. 16. Okay, not so bad. So investigation 19.
19
with a +3.
Okay. You don't see anything that matches the description you were given of like a sword of sunlight, but there is a rather nice looking blade in this pile, as well as like a lot of coins. You do notice with that investigation check that that there are a lot of like gold coins here, but
he's not interested in that.
Well, you're looking over them actually reveals to you that they're actually some sort of other material painted gold, probably wooden.
Ooh.
There are a couple of iron pots that seem to have copper pieces in them.
Interesting. So he doesn't touch he like sees that they're wooden, so he doesn't touch them, and casts a suspicious gaze back at the golem. He does note with interest the sword, but then he won't touch it, and he'll go and investigate the next one down.
There is
this is going to be his modus operandi. He's going to just look at each one.
So the sword in that pile is a nice looking sword.
Nice looking sword. I'll make a note of it. All good.
All right. So next one down. Okay, roll me an investigation check again at disadvantage because you're just looking over it.
Okay, so a 10 for that one.
10. Okay, so you see the rather like there's this one is made up of a lot of silver pieces. And they kind of seem to be falling down around this life-size wooden pony.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I want that. Cara looks very interested in this. Cara looks starry-eyed for a moment. It's like, no. Shakes his head.
There's nothing else you really see on that one.
All right, he'll check the next one. If you want to cut back to the other guys, you may do so.
Yeah.
But he's just going to keep investigating.
Okay.
I'll check the bottom one, shall I? And then we can cut back to see what the others are doing.
Yeah. All right. So investigation at disadvantage.
Okay. So 13.
13. Okay. So this one, you see that there are this one isn't made up of coins so much as it's made up of iron ingots.
Okay. Interesting.
As well as a few holy symbols scattered in the mix as well.
Interesting.
You don't really... There's also a couple of handles or ends of pole arms sticking out, and one of them does look particularly nice.
Nice pole arm.
Having like a kind of filigree to the end of it.
He surveys that and then looks over at the golem.
All right. You haven't touched anything, so as of yet, you have not roused the golem.
So it is touch base. It
there
is
we
when
go.
we grab a thing.
we were guessing that.
Yeah,
we all
been
knew.
Yeah.
We've been new.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the other room.
Just someone should be in there to help him. And if all of you are just going to stand here looking at me like struck mullets, then I will do it. I will do it, and that is a threat.
I do not believe that to be wise.
I just think if I did it, like I'd probably like trip over something and fall headlong into the golem or something.
But you are so much better than you seem to think you are, Fall.
I haven't died yet, and that's
Frankly, a miracle in this
yes,
place.
yes.
Regardless.
Should we maybe all be in there, just in case something should happen, so that Conrade's not in there by himself, and we can all, like, none of us are stuck out here uselessly doing nothing.
I mean, that is, yes, that would be the best option. However, I do fear if the golem does come to life, there is a potential bottleneck situation if we all need to leave at once. But maybe we should just...
Is there not a proper door on the other end of the room?
Oh, I didn't look that far. Is there, Sevia?
Surely one would assume there is. After all, this is just a happenstance.
There isn't a map.
There would be no point to a room without a door.
Precisely.
Did you were the ones who investigated behind the statue. Was there another door?
I don't remember that far back, but yeah, probably. Okay, maybe. I guess. Yeah.
Okay. She runs over to the crack. Conrade! And then, if he actually no, she's gonna message him with magic in the brain. So, Conrade, don't panic. It's the magic again. Is there a door at the other end of the room?
He looks right next to himself where the door is at the bottom of the room. He's like, he nods and he's like, yes. Nod.
Okay.
Affirmative. Yes.
Okay. At least one of us is going to go around to that door and see if maybe we can sneak in that way. So that way, if we need to escape,
Yes.
wait, no. Oh, please hold. And she stops casting message and she's like, so do you mean we all enter through the crack and then exit through the door? Or are we going to enter through the door? Because entering through the door may trigger the golem. However, if we enter in through I would like some clarification.
That's a good point, Sevia, that it may trigger the golem if we go through the door. So probably better to sneak through the crack. If we
I was
can.
thinking the crack.
Let's say if it activates, we can run out the door.
Oh, the fact someone just called her smart, she's very like, oh, good. Conrade!
Yes.
We'll all be, one, have you found anything yet? Two, we will be sneaking through the crack, but in case of emergency, we will exit through the door.
Okay. He looks at the door. Does the door has a keyhole in it, or is it just a regular door?
Sir, the door looks it doesn't appear to have a keyhole.
Okay. Yes, we can try. There doesn't seem to be any kind of... Yes, well, he looks at the golem and is like, if worst comes to worst, I have planned for that. I have not found anything yet. A few good-looking pieces of weaponry and a cart horse. But nothing... I do not know. I am still investigating. Be quiet if you do approach.
Okay, well, at least some of us will come in just to help in case there is an issue.
What point of concern?
Yes?
It might be in... No. If anyone comes in and is interested in gold, a lot of the coins here appear to be false.
Oh,
Does feel like a trap.
yes, that does seem distinctly trap-like.
So be careful.
Yes. You keep investigating. Whatever you're doing is good.
Yes.
And hopefully, if anything goes wrong, we will be there for you. So, no, we will be there for you. It's that nothing should go wrong. Yes, continue.
I am glad you have much confidence in both me and in the rest of the people you travel with. And he's going to stealth off to the next
Okay.
coin pile.
All right. Roll me an investigation check at disadvantage. Are people starting to come into the room?
So at that point, Exley is going to look at the rest of the group, and with his signature head cock, is going to say, "Without your leader, you are all terrible at making decisions." And he's going to mutter an incantation in a foreign language, and he's essentially going to vanish. And you see on the ground a tiny spider fall into the crack.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
crawl up the wall onto the roof, and I am above the golem.
Okay. So, yeah, just place yourself in Fantasy Grounds where you would be.
It was a 13 for me as well
13.
for the
Okay.
investigation check.
So-
I'm not rolling. I rolled well to get in there, but I'm not doing so well
this,
actually
this
checking.
pile has made up predominantly of electrum coins. You notice they seem to have the visage of Strahd on them.
Well, Conrade kind of like notices that and then kind of like subconsciously like nearly touches his neck and is like shakes his head out.
There are bits and pieces of jewelry, and you see towards the bottom that there are some fine dresses and gowns, as well as a robe that seems like some sort of cloth that seems to weirdly blend into the ground with its coloration.
Interesting. Conrade looks at the dresses and just kind of like has like a little scoff, not a loud one, as he remembers the abbot going, "Oh, go find a wedding dress for the flesh golem." He's like, "Not so useful now," and he's going to take note of that and then move on to the middle pile on
Alright.
the west side.
Is
yes.
anyone else coming through to the room?
Sylvia's going to give
Yeah,
the
sure.
robe of useful items to Beatrice
Okay.
and just be like, I don't know if this will stay with you, but I need to have less things in my arms. And then she's going to start scooting through the crack.
Okay.
I'm also stealthing as well, if you need that roll.
And I'll follow
Spider stealth.
Davia, probably holding my head at a weird angle because of my horns.
Alright.
Yeah, should we also roll stealthy stealths?
I will tell you, it's not necessary. It's dormant.
Okay.
I rolled an 18.
18. Okay, so in this pile, there is a whole bunch of silver pieces, some rusted armor, a silvered rapier with a pink glass hilt, what appears to be 4 rusted great swords, and a gilded chariot.
Nice.
Oh, last chariot.
Interesting. He looks with quite interest at the silvered rapier, but then kind of tries to picture what we're looking for, and then moves on to the last treasure pile.
All right. So as this is all happening, so everyone place yourself in the room where
It happens.
where you would place yourself.
If it means anything, I'm upside down on the roof.
Okay.
I don't know how high up that is.
Well, Vilnius and Esmeralda really went for it, huh? They're like,
Oh no,
"Yeah,
no, why'd
nah."
you let Vilnius in the room? He's gonna touch the treasure.
Oh, he will.
damn
Beatrice Beatrice is the last in, and she makes sure she follows Vilnius. Although as she does walk in and see the gold, you see her eyes just sort of light up for a second, and then she sort of shakes her hand and then follows after Vilnius.
All right.
Yeah.
And he keeps very close to him.
The investigation check on the final pile.
18.
18. Okay.
Number 18.
So, whole bunch of copper pieces, a couple of dozen gemstones, not massive, but decent size. Bits and pieces you can tell of a couple of rusted suits of plate armor, a few rusted shields, and a child-sized sarcophagus made of black wood inlaid with gold.
Ooh.
Conrad sighs and then looks over his shoulder. Is like, "What the fuck? Why is everyone in here?" Like, okay.
As soon as Paul enters, their eyes go wide, and then they just like drop down to crouch, looking at the gold, looking like amazed.
Incredible. Conrad sees well, I guess because Fall is closest to him, he's like, "Don't touch it. I think some of it is false."
It's fake. How could you even do that? That's just me.
Try to resist. And I guess because Seaver is also closely, like, I cannot see anything that looks like a sort of sunlight. Everyone is in here now. That's strange.
Well, we wanted to make sure you were protected.
Huh.
We did.
Interesting.
Beatrice turns to Vilnius and says, "You try anything, you touch anything, and that thing comes to life, I'll kill you myself."
Stevie is gonna kind of look at Conrad, and maybe in a moment of almost too much earnestness is like, "We do care about you, Conrad."
Certainly. I am sure, yes. True, we are all useful to each other.
I hate that bloody word.
I don't know if you have it prepared or can do it even. Can you see if any of this is magical, Sevia?
Yes, that might help.
Yes, it'll take me a couple of minutes, but yes, and then, okay, I guess she'll do I have detect magic prepared? Hold on, please hold. While I remember how anything works.
So, yeah.
I do, yes.
Okay, so you
I
can
do.
cast it with a slot to only
Can
take... no, you only have it as a ritual. It's on there
I
as ritual,
can't.
so you can't cast
I
it with a slot.
could, but I can't. Okay, yeah. Nope, soz, y'all. It's gonna take 10 minutes of little sparkly runes.
In the meantime, Fall is using like so much willpower not to steal the gold,
Is
even though it's fake.
Is Exley waiting outside? He says to Fall.
No, I think he's on the roof somewhere. Yeah, there you go, that little spider up there.
Oh, of course. Different shape. Good. I really would have thought this would be a good place for a sword to be. I suppose I shall have to have another look over there anyway. No one touch anything. Be careful. And he's going to go and start again, trying to carefully look over the treasure piles with some frustration now.
Okay. As Sevia finishes detect magic, can I get everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw?
Hey, I don't like that.
Your NPCs make me do things.
22.
22, you are fine.
18.
18, you are fine.
30-20.
30-20 is fine.
16.
16
Oh,
is
Johanna.
fine. Fall.
6.
No.
You take a level of exhaustion.
I'm on 2 levels of exhaustion again.
Sorry, mine was an 11. I forgot I was a spider.
Oh, that,
You're a very cold spider.
that still
no.
passes.
Okay. I went from a +4 to a -1.
Oh,
Oh
we're
no!
gonna go into the hot
So,
room
yeah.
again soon.
So
We'll take
fall
Fall into the hot
speed
room.
is halved.
Halved again.
Oh, so it was just the hour mark thing. It wasn't a trigger for
Yeah,
magic. I thought you were about to be
Because
like,
he said
roll.
Constitution. He didn't say
yeah.
for initiative. He just said
Yeah.
Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
there are 4 points in the room that light up. Actually 5. The golem lights up,
Mm-hmm.
or the statue lights up, confirming your suspicions that yes, it is a golem. The sword in the upper left hand, so the northeastern corner, the one that Conrade is
The one
currently
Conrade's
by.
next to, yes.
So the rapier there is glowing. The staff in the southeastern corner, and the bit of cloak or fabric that you can see coming out of the bottom of the southwestern pile. There's also magic emanating from the door, some sort of abjuration.
Ooh.
Interesting. Anyone got to spell magic prepared?
Mitch and I, every time, we're like, every long rest, we forget.
Oh,
This is
God.
maybe the best spell
well,
we
we'll probably need a long
prepare.
rest soon, I feel.
I'm gonna die of hypothermia again.
Okay. So, there's a few things in here that are magic. First off is our big friend here that I don't enjoy. Second off is there's a sword, a staff, a cloak, and there's some abjuration on the door.
Which sword?
She points the pile. That one. There. But there's something on the door. I think we might have been correct in assuming that it would have triggered an attack. But the magic is a little different on it as compared to the items. I think the items themselves are magical, whereas the door itself has just been affected. But I don't doubt that the reason Big Friend is here is in case we touch any of these.
Yes. It is difficult. It's kind of like he's at that the treasure pile has the sword in it. Difficult to ascertain. It doesn't look like he Conrad squints at it very astutely. It doesn't look like any like a sword of sunlight or anything. Or is it too very deep in there?
There does not appear to be anything that resembles a sword of sunlight. Beatrice, roll me a perception check.
Sorry, no. $23.
23. Okay, so you spot in your peripheral vision as Conrade, or as the sword that Conrade is by is pointed out, Vilnius disappear.
What was that? That
What?
rat!
What happened?
What?
Where'd he go?
And
Like
she
Stevia turns around.
gestures to the empty space next to her.
Oh God!
What? Oh God!
Everyone, get ready to get out
I
out
think
as soon as
everybody
you possibly can.
I think we'll definitely need to leave and regroup and
Yes.
plan.
Pick up the items as we go? Or?
And
No, don't touch anything.
at that moment, you see the staff in the southeastern pile disappear, and the pile around it be displaced as you see the golem spring into life. And that is where we're going to leave it for this episode.
Okay, everyone, get out as soon as you possibly can.
Oh no, okay.
Time for cover right now.
So, yeah.
I know you're about to make us roll for initiative. Can I shoot a fireball at Vilnius?
When we get to the
cool.
next-
Yeah, because like Vilnius might go fast.
When we come back next week, we can.
Oh man! See you next week,
Yeah.
everyone.
Alrighty.
Wow.
Have a great week, everyone.
Love them cooking.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.